So I walked into a casino the other day. I told the man at the roulette wheel, I'm feeling lucky. I reckon I'll flip this coin 100,000 times. If it lands on heads every single time, you give me £1,000,000. He looked at me, then at the coin, then back at me. Get out, he said. Can't blame a guy for trying, but seriously, flipping a coin 100,000 times, that's not about luck. It's about science. It's about understanding the very fabric of randomness. And maybe, just maybe, proving those casino guys wrong. All right, maybe not. See, there's this thing called the law of large numbers. It's a fundamental principle in statistics and probability theory. It's not as intimidating as it sounds. In fact, it's quite fascinating once you get the hang of it. Basically, it says that the more you repeat a random event, like flipping a coin, the closer the results will get to the theoretical probability. Imagine flipping a coin just a few times. The results can be quite random. With a coin, it's 50-50, heads or tails. Simple, but what happens when you flip it 100 times or 1,000? But what does 50-50 really look like? Does it mean that for every heads there's a tails? Or is it more complex than that? Does it mean that after 100 flips I'll have 50 heads and 50 tails? Not exactly. In the short term, the results can be all over the place. You might get a streak of heads or a streak of tails, not necessarily. Short-term results can be all over the place. But as you increase the number of trials, the results start to stabilize. It's only when you ramp up the numbers, like to an absurd 100,000, that the true pattern emerges. The law of large numbers ensures that the average of the results gets closer to the expected value, revealing the true nature of probability. Now, I'm not going to lie, flipping a coin 100,000 times takes dedication and maybe a little bit of help. I used a computer program to simulate the flips, no tired thumbs here. The program recorded each result, heads or tails, and kept a running tally. Think of it as a high-tech abacus for the digitally inclined coin flipper. Every 1,000 flips, I noted down the results. How many heads? How many tails? Was it close to 50-50? Were there any crazy streaks? It was like watching a very slow, very repetitive horse race, but with more numbers. Section 4, heads you win, tails you also win. So after what felt like an eternity, and probably was for that poor computer, I had my results. 100,000 flips, that's right, 100,000 times a coin was tossed into the air, spinning and twirling before landing on either heads or tails. The anticipation was palpable and the sheer volume of data was overwhelming. Hundreds of pages of data. Each flip meticulously recorded, each result logged with precision. The sheer amount of information was staggering, and it took quite some time to sift through it all. And you know what? The law of large numbers held strong. As the data piled up, the results began to paint a clear picture. The results were incredibly close to a perfect 50-50 split. It was almost uncanny how balanced it was, as if the universe itself was ensuring fairness. Were there any interesting patterns? Well, there were streaks. Patterns emerged from the chaos, revealing the hidden rhythms of randomness. Sometimes heads would come up 10, even 15 times in a row. It was fascinating to see these long runs of heads, almost as if the coin had a mind of its own. But then tails would have its turn. Just when you thought heads had taken over, tails would make a comeback, balancing the scales once again. It was a constant reminder that even in randomness, there's a kind of order, an underlying structure that governs the chaos, making sense of the seemingly unpredictable. A chaotic, unpredictable order, but order nonetheless. This experiment was a testament to the fascinating interplay between chance and certainty, chaos and order. Section 5. Randomness. It's a toss-up. The concept of randomness is fascinating and perplexing. It's like trying to catch the wind with your bare hands. You can feel it, but you can't quite grasp it. What did I learn from all this? I learned that randomness is an integral part of our lives. It's in the flip of a coin, the roll of dice, and even in the way leaves fall from trees. Well, for one, don't try to predict coin flips. It's a fool's errand. The outcome is as unpredictable as the weather, or roulette wheels for that matter. The ball dances around the wheel, mocking any attempt to foresee where it will land. Randomness is a fickle mistress. It teases us with patterns that seem to make sense, only to shatter our illusions with a single, unexpected outcome. But more importantly, I learned that even in randomness, there's a strange kind of beauty. It's in the way clouds form and dissipate, or how a spider weaves its web, a hidden pattern that emerges only when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture. It's like a mosaic where each tiny piece contributes to a grand design. So the next time you flip a coin, take a moment to appreciate the chaos, the uncertainty, the dance of chance that governs so much of our world, the sheer improbability of it all. It's a reminder that not everything can be controlled or predicted. And then maybe, just maybe, call it in the air, embrace the uncertainty and see where it takes you. You never know, you might just beat the odds, or, not. That's randomness for you. It's what makes life so unpredictably beautiful.